She's mad. Oh, wait, she's mad. She's mad. Hey, you so-called Jake men out there, spare yourselves, man. Spare yourselves. Eve is not with you. She just ain't. And this is another example why these men are finally waking up to their senses. They're spotting the elephant in the room, and they're getting out of Dodge accordingly. I'm going to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopefully elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the earth. A lot of our women, they're going to find themselves backed into a corner by themselves with no one to rescue or save them. And they're doing it to themselves. The only man that you would actually have to actually protect you, he's no longer in the picture. He doesn't want to be anywhere around you because this is how you think about him. This is how you represent him. You really hate when a man is actually being valued. The serpent fucks you in the head so severe that you really believe that a man should never be regarded as someone of value or self-worth. Like we're living in a day and age where a man can't be complimented. Apparently, it actually triggers a woman, or I'm gonna say a so-called black woman, because that's all I see in these clips that I'm getting ready to play. If you're being approached by a woman and not the other way around, for some reason that triggers them. They don't like that. They don't like the man being the prize. They don't want the man to be the one who's valued because they're used to being in that position. They're used to being seen as the trophy, the prize, you know, the object of admiration. So when you see the opposite happen where a woman is actually valuing a man, they just hate that whole overall concept. And this is what happened when this devil, you know, pretty much put it into their mind that, you know, we're equality. Feminism destroyed the minds of these current women in this society, especially our women. So you can't make this up. You had Simone Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens. He played safety for the Green Bay Packers. And he actually revealed in an interview that he really didn't know too much about Simone Biles, the Olympian, all right? And she's, you know, the best in the nation right now. And he pretty much said that, you know, he was the catch. She came on to him. And a lot of these women, black women, they caught offense to that. And now they're not only attacking him for having that mentality, but they're attacking her because they was expecting her to come out and bash him, all right, like the miserable ratchets that they are, and they humiliate him for making that statement. So these hurt-ass women, they don't like that Simone is actually embracing her man and actually seeing him for his value as a man. She didn't come out in an outrage and attack him for making that statement. She co-signed him. So she's catching backlash and he's catching backlash. And you're gonna see some TikToks from all these bitter ass, single, lonely, dumpster diving so-called black women. All right, you're gonna see the vitriol because the so-called black man is actually receiving actual love from his wife. You couldn't make this up, man. This is why the apostles, brothers, we always say, stay far away from them, man. All right? She's proven that she's the enemy. So without further ado, and this is from Black Ram. Hey, this is fair use. Please don't get me for copyright. I know you be watching our videos, but this is for edification purposes. All right, but let's play this, man. They're really bitter and angry, man. You can't make this up.
Who was really the catch in?
I always say we the man the catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did, though.
Is what you said.
Because I was fighting it.
Now, he may not have known who she was when he met her, but this is the Simone Biles, Olympic gold medalist. How to put some respect on Simone's name. But he also goes on to talk about how he's the catch.
How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's really how she pulled me, man. That's the question.
And this is why I believe that men like this think so. When you are, as a woman, are pursuing a man, it makes them feel like they're the prize. He goes on to talk about in the interview how, they met on this dating app and she kept messaging him first. She even drove 45 minutes to come see him on the first date. Like, it always seemed like she was in the role of the pursuer. Now, that's how men talk about you when you are the one pursuing them. I always say, they chase, we choose. That's why we don't drop down on our knee and propose to men. That's why we're not calling first and
This all sounds like jealousy. Like, how dare a man receive what we're used to receiving? Like, it's like that just combobulates them. That a man is actually receiving, praise and pedestalization from a woman. And I got a newsflash for you, you black woman. It's how it's always been. Men was always the prize, because man is what sustains and upholds society in which you live. They don't even appreciate what men do on a daily basis to sustain this very society that she's comfortable in. He doesn't deserve his, so why should you be pedestalized? Why should you be the prize? The best thing you offer in these days is your body. And even with that, the value of that runs down with each relationship you get into. So, what are you angry for? What are you mad for? Why can't she do that for her own husband? Why does it matter to you? These so-called black women, they're showing you, man, why they're by themselves, why they're on their own. And this is why when that day comes, they're gonna be like, let me get that. Now I gotta bring it out. This is why. And if they don't respect their own men, who are made in the image and likeness of their higher power, how can they actually respect the Most High? Micah 7:10, that she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which saith unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. All right, she's an enemy, and I bet you, if it was a so-called black woman, one of these actresses or singers, if it was an Edomite actor or celebrity or athlete, and he was married to one of these so-called black musicians or actors, one of the female celebrities, and he said that about the female, I bet you it wouldn't be the same energy. It wouldn't be the same backlash. Because the so-called black woman, her whole existence, since the enemy overcame us, she's been used as an instrument of war, against her own men. And she worships the so-called white man, her zaddy. They would not give two shits if it was a so-called white man, an Edomite, that said he was the prize. And if you look at our women's behavior towards him, she do treat that man like he's the prize. She's not gonna abort the children she had with him. They make all kind of content online all the time, boasting about their interracial relationships with these brads. Y'all have been treating this man like he was the prize, since we've been here. So she's showing herself, man. She's really exposing herself. Let me get this one, because, see, these women are not used to men receiving this because everything has been turned upside down. And everywhere else in the world, women know their value and men know their value. Everybody know their self-worth. But over here in America is where everybody's confused at. All right, where they really believe that the woman holds more value than the man does. So when a man finally gets his, if he gets his praise, if he gets complimented, right, she doesn't know how to take that, because that's not how it's supposed to be according to her mentality, based on the wayward philosophies and values and principles that she learned here in the West. This man he really messed your heads up, man. It's Isaiah 29 and 15. It says, it's like your 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding? And they had to turn everything upside down, because now the woman is valued over the man. The woman is supposed to be the object of, praise, worship. We're supposed to chase after her and not vice versa. You see, in the ancient world, women, they did whatever to win over the affection or to get a man to choose them. Basically, in other words, the women would actually chase after the man. Like when Rebecca went out when they was drawing water from that well, and it had her head covered up, veiled up, but she was coming out there because she knew she wanted Isaac. And that's why Isaac was able to quickly, as soon as he laid eyes on her and he saw her, he was able to take her right in that tent. Okay, Abigail, she pursued after David. So, Abigail, was she humiliating herself? Was she, whatever these black women are saying about Simone, what about Abigail? You see? So you had examples of women chasing after valuable men in the scriptures. But only in this day and age where everything is the total opposite. Now, you got men, that's under the rule of women now. Complete role switch. The men are feminine, the women are masculine. All right, the men have to revolve their life around the woman. When the scriptures say man was not made for the woman, but the woman for the man. All right, let me get Isaiah 3. It's Isaiah 3 and 12. It says, "As for my people, children are the oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths." And that's what happens. These women been ruling, over the household far too long. And they're being taught by the mothers, hey, he's supposed to chase you. He's supposed to bring everything to you. You're the prize. All you got to do is just exist. And that was misinformation being passed down. All right. And scripture saying back in Genesis that her desire will be to her husband. This is Genesis 3. Genesis 3 and 16, it says, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." And these women, they don't desire no husband. I mean, well, they do naturally, and they're gonna when society breaks down, when all hell breaks loose, when they go back into their womanly nature, they're gonna desire to have a husband. But right now, because they're in their comfort, they're in their ease, they're at war, so to speak, because they allowed the serpent to put those poisonous ideals in their head, pretty much to program their mind to war with their own men. And that's what destabilizes families, and destabilized families destroys a nation. But this devil knew what he was doing, putting all that feminist bullcrap in their ear. And now a man is not allowed to have standards, or he's going to be seen as he's controlling. He's oppressive. But she can have a long laundry list of standards that says that she has worth. She knows her worth. So these women they're out of touch, man. And they're mad. In their world, a woman is never supposed to do that to a man. And they wonder why they're the loneliest demographic on earth, and nobody wants anything to do with them.
Men, approaching men that we meet out in the wild, you don't do that because this is how they talk about you. They feel like, oh my goodness, she must really think I'm something. Like you don't want them to start sounding like this.
Do y'all want to know why men these days are so feminine and sassy, and they want flowers and money for their nails just like we do? Y'all want to know why? I'm gonna tell y'all why. It's because women are chasing men now. That's what it is. Because why do I see?
So when society breaks down, and you need protection, you need security, and when a lot of y'all without husbands, without that security, you're gonna be desperate and you're gonna want security. So when you chase those men, are those men gonna be considered sassy and feminine because you're running after them and choosing them? And you're going to tell me that those men that you're going to be running to, you're going to tell me that those men are not the prize, they're not precious. They sound hurt like a mug, man. And her with that sewer clogged sink hair sewn on her head. She's mad. They sound pissed. But there's going to be a point in time where these women are going to be forced to acknowledge the value of a man. All right? Especially, like it says here in Isaiah 32. This is Isaiah 32 and 1. It says, "Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment." See, right now, you got princes walking as servants on the earth. And you got servants on horses. So everything is actually upside down. That's why they see Esau as the prize right now. They would not have like I said, they would not have an issue if it was an Edomite making the same statements that Jonathan Owens made. Because he's seen as the prize in his own world. This is his kingdom. But when things go back to his rightful order, he's going to be what he really supposed to be, which is a servant, a slave. All right? According to the birthright, they're supposed to be our servants. But right now, we're in captivity. So we don't have the respect and the power that they have. And our women sees that. And that's the reason why they don't have respect for us. But there's going to be a point in time where the princes of the power, Yasharallah, they're going to have the power. They're going to have the authority. They're going to be sitting on thrones. All right? So that means that they're going to receive that respect. But right now, they just don't have it because they're not in their glory. We don't have our glory yet. The only glory we have right now is glorying in the Lord. All right, in his wisdom that he gave us through the Holy Spirit. But the Lord's going to pretty much show who's the prize in these final times. The men of value, what they call high valued men, you're going to see that as really the prophets of the Lord, the men, the servants of Yahweh Shem Shai. And that's who the Lord's going to be protecting when the tribulation hits. And you women are going to be bawling your eyes out looking for a man because you're going to be in a desperate situation. Because it's going to get real dangerous out here. And you women are not safe. All right? It says, verse 2, it says, "A man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land." All right, and the scriptures say in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, that the head of Yahushua is the Most High. The head of man is Yahushua, who the world calls Christ. And the head of the woman is the man. All right, Yahushua is pretty much our hiding place from the destruction. All right, he's our advocate. He's going to have us protected in these days to come. So that means what? While we have the protection from our head, which is Yahushua, our women who are up under the men are going to have protection. But if you don't have the man, you're not going to be covered from anything. And that's going to make you vulnerable. You're going to be open to all of the perils that's going to be out here. And you're already seeing it now. You know, certain women, you know, they going out there because they got all this liberty. But with all this liberty, they out there, you know, making these decisions, and it always usually leads to something tragic. Girls trips and going places and never being found, only to be discovered that you was put to death somewhere. That's starting to happen a lot. All right, so you're gonna realize in that time that yes, my man is the prize. He does have value. You might not see it right now because you're at ease. All right, let me jump down to verse 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, you careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. You're not going to be as comfortable as you are. The Lord's going to make sure he strips that away from you. It says, tremble you women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless women, you careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Be ready to mourn, because all of the death that's going to surround you, the anguish, the distress. Because we know what's getting ready to come to this society, man. When those cyber attacks start finally happening and civil war in the streets and martial law and things shut down in the streets, shortage of food, hyperinflation, that's when you're gonna know. When it goes up, when we come into that time of it's just straight being raw, all right, and people not giving a shit because the love of many is waxing cold. That's when they're gonna see. And it's gonna be too late for the majority of them. All right, it tells you that a man will be more precious. Let me get it. Isaiah 13 and verse 12, and it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And how is the Lord going to do that? Because he's going to bring them through the fire. In the midst of all the calamity and the tribulation going on the earth, the Lord's going to be pulling those men through it. And they're going to be guided and protected by a higher force, a higher power. And so much that some women are going to take notice to it, and they're going to be begging to marry those men. Let's go to Isaiah 3. Starting at verse 25, it says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So it's going to be a shortage of men because men are going to be dying out in the streets. They'll be out there hunting and looking for stuff out of survival mode. Some of them are going to die out there trying to survive. Certain men are going to be fighting in the wars over there in the Middle East. Some men are going to be dying of famine. So that's going to leave you vulnerable, right? It says, and her gates shall lament and mourn and shall be desolate. She being desolate shall sit upon the ground. And go to the next chapter, and this is what it leads to. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. That's why a lot of our women don't like that. They don't like this idea. But then you're going to tell me when it comes to this, you're going to tell me that one man that these women are pursuing, he's not the prize. Y'all ain't going to have no problem in that day. Because you going to have to be on your best behavior or it's over for you. And I'm afraid to say, but I'm not going to even speak for the men in the world, because a lot of them, they're going to die anyway. But speaking, concerning the men of the Lord, they're not going to put up with your shit. They have the same attitude that Yahushua has when it comes to his servants. If you would not have me to reign over you, bring them hither and slay them. The men are going to have that same attitude over you. If you're not willing to cooperate and submit, then you can go out there and you can die. All right, you get snatched up by one of those UN troops. But But this is what these women are going to be saying. We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. The fact that they would have to go to a man to take away their own reproach, that shows you where the value lies. That shows you who the prize is. We're willing to marry you. We'll do our own. We'll get our own food. We'll wear our own clothes. Just let us marry you. So these women, you just off the rip, they're not gonna make it. They're gonna die off. Because ain't no man gonna be willing to put up with this kind of attitude. All right, and they're demonstrating that they really don't value you. All right, they're not with you. They're not happy. If you happy, she's not happy. It got to be the other way around. She has, in order for you to be happy, she has to be happy. That's how she wants it.
A video of a woman asking her boyfriend to marry her, saying, I asked your mommy and sisters to give you away. And why is Simone Biles and her fiance on that interview, and he's literally telling us a story about how she chased him? These men are sassy and feminine because we're asking them out now, ladies. We need to be playing for the same team, okay? We need to be working towards the same goal, because you can't say that there's a sassy man apocalypse, but at the same time, y'all are giving men the upper hand to be sassy and feminine by asking them out. You should never in any circumstances be asking no man out on no date. Let's be very real. You should never be getting on down on your knees to ask a man to marry you. You should never be approaching a man to ask him on a date. That's automatically giving him the upper hand. Of course he's sassy. Of course he wants flowers now. You just made him your girlfriend.
Nah, because I want to know why everyone is so mad at Jonathan Owens, husband to Olympic Award winner Simone Biles, for saying in that last podcast or interview that he's surprised. Where's the issue? I'm confused on why y'all are so pressed when Simone is chilling. Simone ain't pressed. Simone said, yeah, that's right. That's my prize. Her silence says it all. She married that man because she loved him, she adored him, and she obviously sees him as a prize.
Thank you. Finally, a woman with some sense, man. With some decency. So-called black woman right here. You know, like I said, there's exceptions to the rule. Not every single black woman, but the majority of y'all, man, is not looking too good. This woman right here, she actually talking some sense. What's wrong with a man receiving love and value from his own woman? What's wrong with a man seeing, having a sense of self-worth? But they was too used to seeing black men being humiliated in slavery, that a man is not supposed to think of himself, of a certain status or a certain, self-worth. We're supposed to just constantly be humiliated, emasculated, because that's all they're used to.
And like, man, when I got married, I saw my husband as a prize too. If it weren't for my husband, I would not be married. If it weren't for my husband, I would not one day have the opportunity to carry the life that he put in me for 9 months. Why is it that y'all want men to see everything but their worth in themselves? Why can't they see their value? Why can't they be the...
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you know I'm pretty sure this same woman, she getting backlash too. They probably all in her comment section talking all kind of shit. You black women, man, y'all are peculiar. You are peculiar, man. You're different. 'Cause no other women does this to their men. You the main one that do this to your own men. And you wonder why they're starting to make moves now. You wonder why there's all these podcasts all over social media.
prize. Because they are. Having a man as my protector is a win. Having my man to be able to help me to make decisions so I don't have to do it all on my own, oh yeah, that's a win. Having a man to lead me logically, spiritually, mentally, financially, that's a win in this world. I'm not trying to do all this by myself. It's hard out here. Having a righteous man of God choose me in this life forever until death do us part, that is a win. Just because of
Black.
That's it, man. Hey, it's good to see that there's a few of them out there, man. But the majority of them is not looking too good. All right. And, the scriptures say for the men, gird up your loins like a man, remember to show yourselves men. Understand basically in your order and your purpose, you are valued. You have value. All right. Don't ever let these women make you believe otherwise. All right. Let me get this in Lamentations real quick to prove that we're the prize. Let me get I think it's Lamentations 4. Let me see. It is Lamentations 4:1. It says, "How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street." And this was after the Babylonians took down the temple. All right. And this is basically a lamentation of, the events that transpired. Right. It's Lamentations 4:2. This is the scribe of Jeremiah. It says, "The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter." So the Lord refers to the sons of Zion as precious. And you look up the word precious, the word is yaquar. And it says in the usage, valuable, prized, weighty, precious, rare, splendid. Okay? You men, the men of Israel, particularly the elect, because we know the elect are the creme de la creme, so to speak. That's the first fruit of the Lord. So they're highly precious in the sight of the Most High. All right? So if you got the Most High calling you precious, that should matter. The hell with these women. These women, they're gonna find out on their own, and usually is never good when they have to find out, because they got to get put through a lesson, But they're gonna find out. Okay. So, that's pretty much that. I was thinking about another scripture, I believe in the Apocrypha, where it talks about how a woman is supposed to really be like a pillar, in which really Simone, she's showing why she got chose. She's showing why she got wifed up. I applaud her and not these sad puppy ass N-dubs that's making a fool of themselves. At least she has a husband. These other women, they ain't got shit going for them. Just ratchet, miserable, lonely. This is Sirach 25 in verse I think it's the next chapter over. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Sirach 26 and verse 2. It says, "A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace." You see that? So if you got a good woman or a decent woman, she's gonna rejoice her husband. She's gonna, keep him confident in himself. She's gonna build him up. She's gonna, basically she's like his strength. All right, that's what a woman is supposed to be to a man. His helpmate. We jump down to I'm gonna read verse 13. It says, "The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones." All right, giving him compliments and assuring him that, hey, you got it, you got this. Making sure that she follows him, while he's on his path, while he's on his mission. You see, and that delights the husband. It says, "A silent and a loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her constant mind cannot be valued." All right. Let me jump down to verse 26. It says, "A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all." So they were expecting Simone to be like fucking Kiki Palmer, old ratchet ass. And you see what's happening with that situation. She looked bad. They were trying to, bomb on the husband, and they tried to leak images out where it appeared like there was in a physical altercation and he was being the aggressor. But come to find out, she was the aggressor. You black women, you do it to yourself, man, and it's on the you're being watched, man. The whole world is actually looking at your behavior. So if you don't change up now, this is where you're heading. It's not gonna end well for you. So they were looking for Simone to dishonor him, and she didn't do that. She didn't fall for it. So props to her and the husband, because he what he said was nothing wrong with what he said. The man is he is the prize because he has value. So I'm gonna just leave with that, man. And Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. To the next lesson, Shalom.